two, actually. Hello, everybody. I'm Samuel Team, the Dragon Team here today, and welcome to yet another Pokemon TCG interview with Chris Hoag, who managed to do pretty well and made top 32 at the 2016 Spring Regionals, Madison, Wisconsin Regionals, and he did so with this Toad Bats list. So, yeah, thank you once again for being here, Chris.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Nope, nope, the honor's all mine. And before we get too much into it, tell us why you decided to play this Toad Bats list.
I think my reasoning for playing Toad Bats, I don't know if there was like really a specific reasoning. I think part of it was that I wanted to play Seismitoad because that's really all I had done well with this past season. So that was like part of it. And I feel like Seismitoad Crobat is probably the most powerful version of Seismitoad and expanded. Like Seismitoad Giratina, I don't think is as good and expanded anymore. So I definitely wanted to do that. Also, I had some like really odd feeling that like Night March was just gonna like make a surge in play. I don't know why I thought that, but I didn't play a single Night March, so I was wrong there. But that was kind of part of the reason. So but it's just I just think it's a really fun deck to play. And I was really happy to play it through the tournament and do pretty well with it. So.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. From what I saw, Night March was very popular throughout some of the regionals. Not as popular in Madison, but I heard it was really popular in Georgia.
Yeah, it was really popular in Georgia, and I know that the finals of Kansas Regionals Week 3 was a Night March mirror. So
yeah, you were essentially right. You're just we're playing in the right area.
Yeah,
like a week earlier. So
yeah,
close, but no cigar.
I was gonna play Seismitoad Crobat Week 3, and then I bailed on that, but it's okay.
Yeah. So so walk us through your regionals run. What did you play round one?
All right, so round one, I get paired up to Raikou Eels, which is something I didn't want to face at all because I pretty much just lose to that. And this guy was playing Jolteon EX in there as well, so that was even worse for me. I'm pretty sure I lost in about like 15 minutes, which was awful. Just the fact that he could continuously cycle Rough Seas just really didn't help anything. I was hitting tails on lasers and all that, so nothing was just going well for me. So I lost really quickly in that one.
Yeah, yeah. It always sucks having to lose your first round of the day.
Yeah, losing the first round was awful, and like that was really discouraging. I was thinking, oh man, if I just like lose one more, I'm basically out. But oh well. So then round two, I went up against a Vespiquen Flareon deck. Game one was uneventful because he started, I think, like a Combi and then an Unknown, and then he used Farewell Letter, but he didn't draw into anything, so I just ended up donking him the first game. Then the second game was a pretty okay game. He got some B revenges off, which was scary, but I was able to accumulate enough bat damage and all that to pull off the win. So I was 1-1 at that point. And then round three, I faced Ross Coffin with Excelgor Wobbuffet.
Wow, you faced Ross like
yeah, no. So I was freaking out because he flips over a Shelmet, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, if he's playing Trevenant, I just lose and I'm out. But he was only playing Wobbuffet, which was perfect for me because I could still use the bats, and I could still use my super scoop ups to get out of the deck and cover lock, which was incredibly helpful. So game one, that went pretty quickly. He couldn't really get a setup. I just got a Silent Lab out. He wasn't really able to respond to that at all, and I think I knocked out a Muna for game. And then game two took very, very long. If I had hit a super scoop up, with like about like 3 minutes left in the round, I would have won the game and the series, and I missed the super scoop up, and he was able to win the second game there. So obviously we didn't have enough time to finish the third game. So I tied there.
So you're starting out the day 1-1-1, which is
right. Yeah, best record.
You essentially can afford like one more blemish on your record before you.
Right, exactly, and that's where I was getting nervous.
Yeah.
So. But then I had lunch break there. Then round four, I was paired up to Virizion Genesect.
Oh boy.
And so, but here's the great thing. So he was late coming back from lunch. So I got the game one win because he was late. And then game two, he just starts Jirachi EX and passes. And so, like, I just whip out my Lugia and Laser Bank and just donk him. So
wow.
I'll take it. Yeah. So won that one. No, I felt really bad. I'm just like, hey, I'm sorry that happened. He's just like, dude, I don't care. It's fine. So And then let's see, round 5, I played against Primal Groudon Wobbuffet. Um, so that's a matchup that I think can go either way. It really depends on how many bats you can get out and if you can preserve your Lugia EX. So game 1, I should have won that game, I think, but I was stupid. I thought I had 2 Muscle Bands in hand, and I needed to get a Crobat, so I Ultra Balled and discard what I thought was one of the 2 Muscle Bands and something else to get a bat. And if I had the Muscle Band, it could have swooped across for enough damage to knock out this this Primal Groudon. But one of the Muscle Bands that I thought was a Muscle Band was actually a Fighting Fury Belt. And so I ended up discarding the actual Muscle Band, and so I just had the Fury Belt in hand, so that was a complete misplay on my part. I lost game 1. Game 2 I took actually fairly quickly, which is weird playing against a Primal Groudon deck. Just I was able to overwhelm him with a lot of bats and Quaking Punch early, which really slowed him down, I think. So I was able to take game 2, and then we didn't have enough time to finish game 3. So I ended up tying there. So 2-1-2 at this point.
Which,
and then
it's not a bad record, but at the same time, you know you have to win out, basically.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that really terrified me a lot, actually. So so that was round 5, and then round 6 I played against a Turbo Darkrai deck.
Yeah.
Turbo Dark can go either way. It really depends on how much the Darkrai player can go off on their first turn. And so game 1, this guy just went off like insanely quick. Like he just got about like 9 energy on board or something really stupid. So I just scooped that because I knew there was no coming back. And then game 2 and 3, those went really well. I was able to get a Silent Lab down, which shuts them down a lot because they can't use Keldeo to rush in from all the laser damage, or use setup or anything like that. And then game 3, we actually went to time, and I was actually able, in turn 1 and 3 of time, I was able to use 2 Deep Hurricanes with Lugia to knock out 2 Pokemon EX and take my last 4 prizes.
Oh, nice.
So that was incredibly clutch. So that was nice. Let's see. So then round 7, I played another Turbo Darkrai deck. This time, the guy just couldn't get set up, from what I recall, just because Silent Lab wins games. So I 2-0'd him pretty quickly. So I was 4-1-2 at that point.
Nice.
Then round 8, I got... What was that?
Just need to win the last 2.
Oh, yeah, I know. Or maybe win the last one in ID, but that would be the bubble. So so then round 8, I went up against my good friend Nick Foltz. He was playing Raikou Eels. So 2 Eels in a day. It was sad. Game 1, he doesn't really get a start. I think I like Donkatynamo or something like that.
Yeah.
And then game 2, he gets like an absolutely stellar setup, is able to smash me in about 30 seconds. And then round 3, he just starts a Jirachi EX and just has to pass, which at that point I just Quaking Punch and win. So that's pretty much how all my games with Nick go. Whenever we play each other at like league challenges or like anything like that, like I'll just end up like donking him over something stupid. So that's how that went.
Yeah.
So I'm 5-1-2 at this point. I'm kind of freaking out because I've never really done this well at a regional, and so I'm like, all my friends like, guys, like do I just ID this last round? Like, do I just guarantee cut, or do I like play it out? And I'm just like, wait, no, 18 points is gonna be a bubble. I have to play this out.
Yeah.
So so I end up playing this last round out, and I get paired up to an Yveltal Archeops deck. So that can go either way as well. It just, like, pretty much with every other game, depends on how much they go off on their first turn. So game 1, he got a pretty good turn. He got a turn 1 Archeops and stuff like that, which kind of sucked that I couldn't put bats out, but, like, that's whatever. So I just went Quaking Punch, Silent Lab, and Lasers and prayed that they stayed asleep, and that worked out game 1. So that was good. And then game 2, he got the turn 1 Archeops again. That time I couldn't find my Lasers for some dumb reason. I think I prized both my Silent Lab that game. So I lost that really quickly. And then game 3, he just dead drew, and I just Quaking Punched, and I won. So so from 1-1-1 to 6-1-2 somehow.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
That's pretty incredible, honestly. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. No, I was really shocked when I did that. That's the first time I've made day 2 at a regional or anything like that. So I was really, really excited about that. So, yeah.
Proud of you, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited. So I went into day 2 at 8th seed, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that.
So really awesome there. So then day 2. So here's a fun day 2 story. So I thought that we were supposed to be there between 8:30 and 9 to turn in our decks. It was actually that you had to be there by 8:30 to turn in your decks.
Oh.
So I get there at like 8:33 or something like that, and they're like, "You're late," and I'm like, "Oh shoot, okay, whatever." So I turn in my deck. The head judge comes over and he tells us, "All right, just you guys were late. You're not going to get like the game one loss or anything like that, but you can't tie. You have to finish 2 complete games to win the entire series." Which I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then he told us that we weren't allowed to have +3 turns if we went into time for our game, which I thought was completely absurd and completely wrong. But I don't know if that's what the head judge ruled. You can't really contest that, so I just kind of had to go with it.
Yeah.
So round 10, first round of day 2 Swiss, I got paired up to Jake Jensen. He was playing Seismito Giratina, which I was not really looking forward to playing. I looked at the standings the night before. I'm like, okay, I'm either going to play Mega Man Etric or Seismito Giratina, and I don't want to play either of these. So he's playing Toad Giratina. Game 1, he just smashes me, and then game 2, I pretty much get a really good setup. He doesn't get anything, and I'm able to win that one. And then game 3, the game went to time, so unfortunately, like I lost because I couldn't win the full 3 games without the +3. But the thing is, if I had the +3, and after talking with Jake afterwards, I would have probably been able to win that series because I had a Deep Hurricane lined up for knockout, and then a Lysander for another Deep Hurricane for knockout.
Yeah. So basically, moral of the story: make sure you like triple check to know when you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care at that point. Like, I made cut in my first regionals, so like whatever, who cares? But
yeah, right.
So that's okay. And then round 11, I played Alejandro Luna.
Mm-hmm.
Really good, really cool guy. I think he just got his Worlds invite off of that tournament, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
He was playing Turbo Darkrai, and short and sweet, I just got Silent Lab turn 1 both games, and he just couldn't do anything about it. And yeah, when you can't use your Keldeo in the Darkrai deck, like you can't do anything. So I 2-0'd him pretty quickly, I believe.
So your record is, I believe,
7-2-2.
7-10.
7-2-2. Yep.
Yep.
So then the next round, I get paired up to the Aaron Madison, and he's playing Jolteon EX Archeops, and I'm thinking that this is a death sentence if I've ever seen one for myself. This is terrible. So he's late coming into the game, so he gets the whole you have to win 2 games and stuff like that. And I didn't want to be like a staller, like because I don't believe in like stalling that much, if any at all. But I figured like if I could just like use a bunch of scoop ups at the right time and AZs and stuff like that, like I can probably just like win on time or something like that.
Yeah, just make it take a little longer than it should, which is
right.
Which I think is the right play.
Yeah. So but I didn't want to be like too much of a slow player or anything because I knew that like Jolteon EX is only gonna like 3-shot your Toads and stuff like that. So like if you can just hit the scoop ups at the right time and whatnot and like retreat and junk, maybe pull it off. So game 1, he gets an absolutely stellar setup and I just get nothing. So I can't actually hit my scoop ups or my AZ or anything like that. So I lose that really quickly. And then game 2, he starts a Shaman, attaches DC and passes. And so I throw out my Lugia, Arrow Ball, and Laser Bank. Pretty much got that there. So I'm thinking, okay, game 3. All right, here we go. And so I think I'm about to pull it off if I recall correctly. And then he hits a really clutch Pokemon Center lady that just shuts me off. Because I think his Jolteon was going to die going into my turn.
Yeah.
Because it was like asleep and stuff like that. And yeah, he just got the Pokemon Center lady, and I couldn't do anything about that. So ended up losing that one. That's okay though. Jolteon EX was fun to play against. Totally.
7-3-2.
7-3-2. Yep.
You essentially have to win out these next 3 rounds, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. And even that's on the bubble. So.
Yeah. There's only 2 more rounds left, right?
Right. So then round 13, I play against Primal Groudon Wobbuffet. I think the guy is running the same list as the guy I played day 1 because I think they're all the Wisconsin people. So how does it go? So game 1, he beats me relatively quickly because I think I prized my Lugia or something like that. Just couldn't get enough bats out and stuff like that. And Lugia is huge in the Groudon matchup. I can talk more about that later, but that card is absolutely huge in the Groudon matchup. And then game 2, Lugia just puts in a lot of work. Like I'm able to actually like Lysander the Groudons early and just get some damage on those really quickly. which I think really helped out a lot, despite them playing like Olympias and Center Ladies and stuff like that. And then, so after that, like we have like 5 minutes left, and I'm like, oh man, I'm about to tie. This is awful. Well, he has like an absolutely stellar start for the final game, and I just have like two bats, and I can't do anything about it. So he whips out the Lander SEX and just starts hammerheading me. So, oh well, I ended up losing that one.
So essentially, you're probably playing up this one so you
Yeah.
can maybe get top 16 or something, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I didn't even think top 16 at that point was really feasible, but whatever. Final round, I get paired up to Trevenant, Bursting Balloon. So I hadn't actually really tested that matchup honestly, because when I played straight toed at States, I had an actually okay Trevenant matchup. I thought.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just go in with Lugia and pray. Well, I keep forgetting that expanded Trevenant has Wally and Jirachi, and that hurts a lot. So, so it's much more consistent for them to get the turn one item lock off, and I think I got smashed in about 30 seconds because I just couldn't draw anything at all. So, also doesn't help that I think I was benching way too many bats in that matchup, which it really didn't matter. I wasn't going to make top cut anyway. Um, but yeah, so I lost that one. But hey, I'm not mad. Top 32, so 30 more points. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you went 1-4 in day two, but you still, hey, you at the very least you got one game. So hey,
Yeah, and on Hondo of all people. So
he's another pretty good Chicago player.
he really is. Yeah.
So I'm glad that he made his Worlds invite. So you, even though you didn't do that hot in day two, you still made top 32 in general. So go through us, like, were there any things that you wish you did not add to the list, or that you wish you did add to the list? You know, any choice that you made or did not make that you wish you did?
I think in the list, I probably would just cut the Verbanks. Honestly, as nice as they were against the Eels decks I played, I don't really think in retrospect they were really doing much. I really liked having the Silent Lab more for the quick lockdown early game, and being able to draw into that more, I think would have been really nice. So I'd probably cut one Verbank for another Silent Lab or something like that. Also, kind of missed having Getsys in the deck. I was kind of back and forth between playing the Team Flare Grunt or the Getsys. But I really like the Team Flare Grunt in the Darkrai matchup. I thought that's really huge if you can just lock them with the Silent Lab and knock off an energy. They can't usually respond to that. But I could see maybe adding a Getsys back in or something like that, because Getsys is really powerful. So other than that, I think the list was absolutely perfect, and I really liked playing it. So
yeah, I've noticed you're playing a 2-1 split between Muscle Band and Fighting Fury, but why did you decide to go with like the 2-1 split?
Well, I didn't want 3 Fighting Fury belt because I felt like I'd want to do more damage with Toad with Muscle Band. Even though you have the bats and stuff like that, you don't necessarily want to rely on Laser Bank and stuff like that. But I have the 1 Fury belt just as like assurance on Lugia. So the cool thing you can do with Lugia is put a Fighting Fury belt onto it for the Groudon matchup, and then the Groudon player has to get 2 strong energy on their Primal Groudon to one hit knock it out, which they can easily do. But it takes a lot more digging on their part, which I think is really huge. And it sets up really nice numbers in other matchups as well, especially with bats. So.
Yeah, because that basically makes it so they have to hit like 230 damage on a Lugia, so which is a little. Yeah. It's not the easiest thing for them to do, but it's still possible.
Yeah, it's still possible, but it's not like really easy for them to hit. So.
Yeah, not to mention with Deep Hurricane, that makes you hit for like 170, which is perfect math for.
Right, you hit for like 170 on them, and then you just finish them off with some bats. It's really good.
Yeah. Actually, no, it'd be. Let's see. No, it's doing 150, so it'd be doing 160 with the.
Yeah, 160 with a belt. Yeah.
And then you use like a Golbat or Crobat to like do 170 or 130 or 180 to make the perfect math.
Right, and there were a few times where I'd use Swoop Across with Crobat since it has resistance to Groudon as well, and just pray they wouldn't get a stadium. It worked a couple times, but
Nice. So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah. Toadbat seems to be one of those decks, like, for a while it seemed to be one of the top tier decks, but kind of seems to fall off a little bit. But you seem to do pretty well with that anyway. So, yeah. How many championship points do you have going into this event, and how many championship points are you sitting at now?
So I had 170 going into the event.
Mm.
And so then I got 30 points from the event. So now I'm sitting at 200. So pretty okay. I don't think I'm going to get a Worlds invite. I mean, I'd like to, but I don't think I'm going to at this point. I'll just play the rest of the season for fun. So
Yeah. You never know. You could do well a couple league challenges and do well at nationals. So maybe you could like squeak your way into a worlds that way.
yeah, I'm hoping so. I mean, I have 3 more league challenge finishes that are open. So if I can just get like 3 first place, I need to find league challenges in the first place though.
Yeah.
So um, so yeah, maybe if I can do that and then just get like top 64 or something, that would probably give me my invite. So
All right.
yeah.
But thank you. But I do hope that you make your worlds invite. I really do. But
No,
and
thanks.
but I do thank you for appearing on this channel, and I thank you for doing the interview. But we have a couple more minutes, so is there anyone you want to make a quick shout out to, real quick?
Sure, I got plenty of shout outs. So let's see, where do I start? Shout out to the Michigan State boys for coming and letting me stay with them for the tournament. I really appreciate it. Chris and Dimitri, Yamil and Ananya, and Patrick, I guess. um, so thanks for letting me come and stay with you guys. Also, thanks to Chris for the Toad Bats list and Alex for originally making the Toad Bats list. Uh, Also, shout out to the bad guys, my team, for being pretty awesome. Although you guys weren't at Madison, you guys were there in spirit. So, yeah. Um, yeah, also shout out to Caffeine for keeping me up while testing on Friday.
Caffeine MVP.
Yeah, I hadn't had caffeine because like I'm on a thing where I'm not like trying to drink any like caffeine or pop right now. So I'm like I need to stay awake so I can test these decks, and so I chug a Coke in about like 1 minute.
So, well, caffeine's always the MVP at doing
It really
decks.
is.
But anyway, thank you for sharing your list with me. Thank you for doing this interview with me once again. This is what, a third or fourth interview?
Yeah, I think third,
Third, yeah,
something like that.
something like that. But thank you once again anyway. Please thank you for anyone who tuned in today to watch this video. Please like, subscribe, all the silly stuff, and I shall see you guys hopefully next time.
Yeah.